Hey guys, it's me again, Delicious Delights. How are you guys doing? Hopefully well. Today I have a review, a niche review from the house of Byredo. This is called Unnamed. So this is literally a fragrance that has no name. They give you like stickers where you can put a name or give it a name, which is, I think Guerlain did it as well with Mon Exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's just called Unnamed. It just has no name. Anyways, I guess that's kind of like a marketing thing, but it doesn't really, I guess, it would not sway me either way if I could name my own fragrance, whether or not to buy this, if that makes sense. All right, so Unnamed, let's get this on my skin here. Okay. Okay. So the opening of this fragrance is really strange to me. And I'm gonna say what it reminds me of, but at the same time, I don't think it stinks. So when I smell this, I'm reminded of what a leaky basement might smell like. Or if you can imagine, if you've left your clothes in the dryer and it's still a little bit damp, like it hasn't really dried all the way through, and then you left it in there for a few days and you get this really weird, earthy, musty, almost moldy kind of smell. That's what I get right in the opening. But it's like an earthy, damp, and unsweet kind of smell. Somewhat creamy and a little bit swampy, but it doesn't stink at all. It's kind of interesting, actually. Yeah, it's very unique and different. So the opening, yeah, it's intriguing. I'll give it that, even though it's kind of weird. But it's a niche fragrance. It's supposed to be a little bit, not mainstream smelling. So after this opening kind of dries down a little bit, I do smell a certain accord that is very familiar to me whenever I smell Byredo fragrances. And I'm convinced that Byredo, I think all houses do this, or I don't know, maybe you guys know more about it, but they have like this base accord that they put in a lot or all of their fragrances. So when I smell this, I'm reminded of other fragrances from this house. The 1986, I'm not sure which year it was, but there's this fragrance that was called A Year. It reminds me a little bit of that. Reminds me also of Velvet Haze, also of the 11th Hour, and also a little bit of Super Cedar. There is something in all of those fragrances that is also in this. Okay, so after the opening, we are at the mid, and I'm getting blinded by the sun right now. I'm sorry. That's why I'm kind of squinting a little bit. So the mid, it's really interesting what happens because it really changes a lot. Actually, from the beginning of this fragrance to the very end, it does evolve drastically throughout the stages, and I thought that was really well done, even though like the smell isn't like for me, like I don't think I would buy this. I do find it very intriguing and interesting how things change and morph on my skin. So in the mid of this fragrance, I get a very contrasting smell from the opening, and it smells like a very soft, light, slightly powdery violet kind of smell. Very fresh, slightly vegetal as well, and earthy, and along with this very interesting violet note, I get a pinch of spice in here, which is actually really nice. I think a lot of people would love the mid of this fragrance if you're not put off by the weird opening of this fragrance. If you can wait a little bit, the mid of this fragrance is really nice if you are a violet flower lover. To me, it smells like blooming violets out of the ground after a rainfall. So the ground and the soil and the earth is still damp and wet, and you have like the greenery around you. You can smell that as well, and like raindrops falling off, like dripping off the leaves onto the ground. And then you have the beautiful blooming violet flowers. Yeah, it's a very realistic, beautiful violet smell. And I'm not like a huge violet note kind of person, but I'm starting to like florals more nowadays, and I think it smells nice in the mid. It smells really nice. Okay, so that was my favorite part of the fragrance. In the dry down of this fragrance, I'm left with still that familiar Byredo base. And the Byredo base is kind of like a creamy, earthy, woody smell that kind of also reminds me of crayons, so it's kind of waxy. I smell that mostly. So there's still that violet smell in here, but it has toned down a little bit, and then I'm left with that base, that familiar Byredo base, which if you are a fan of that smell, and if you like violets, then you would probably love this fragrance. For me, I think this fragrance is a really interesting one to at least test. It wouldn't be for me. I wouldn't buy this fragrance myself, but I have had a lot of fun testing this fragrance. I think it's very unique, very nichey, and challenging. And I think that if you are up for a challenge, then this is definitely one to try. Byredo Unnamed. Well, you can name it what you want, but if I were to give it a name, I would call it Violet Earth. That would be my name. That would be the name that I would give it. Alright guys, so that was my review on Unnamed Byredo, Violet Earth. If you guys have tried it, please do let me know in the comments what you think. What do you think of the House of Byredo in general? Just anything you want to add about this fragrance or house, let's discuss it in the comments. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm getting blinded here. And I'll see you guys next time with more videos soon. See ya. Bye bye.